Hey everyone, hope all is well. It's been a busy winter break for me so far. Just was able to finally get back into the swing of things of trading. So I want to go over some setups today that were extremely nice. They worked out almost perfectly, rather. So let's just get right into it and let me go over the trades that worked out today. All right, so first and foremost, we have Snapchat. And just as a brief overview, the market's been weird, right? We've been seeing some weird, tough conditions, not the best, weird kind of setups going on. So we kind of have to adapt, right? And breakouts haven't been working as well as we've seen, but we just have to adapt and see what has been working. And what has been working well is these extremely nice supply zones or support and resistance areas that you play for bounce plays. So, as always, we start with a top-down analysis and we start with the higher time frame. So I drew out this channel that Snapchat has been trading in, and honestly, once we come back up here and touch, I see no reason not to get short, build a short position here, and come back down. So definitely eyeing this channel because every time we kind of touch the top of it, right around this area is when we kind of bounce below. And here I saw that we're kind of in the middle of the channel, but I wanted to capitalize on this downward move. So what I did was I went to I noticed that we were, pretty weak in the market, has been pretty weak in the immediate short term. So what I did was I saw this 90-minute supply zone that was kind of key. You can see that we consolidated here, but we created this massive move down here about almost $5 on Snapchat, which is a pretty big move on the name for such a small name like Snapchat. So I had a strong feeling that this would be, a decent area to get short at or look to take short. However, I wasn't just going to settle on looking at this supply and saying, all right, I'm just going to get short here, whatever. And if we just get rid of, let's just get rid of this 2 hour real quick here. And we see that this 90-minute, sure, it, kind of worked out yesterday. But if we go down to a 5-minute time frame, we see that it rejected here. So sure, it's possible to get short here. You could have taken this name short here, and it would have worked out well. I think that, this is a reasonable setup. We're in a downtrend, 90-minute supply, pretty key. It had a violent move down, and we had a little bit of a volume spike in supply, and we kind of created this rally-based drop here. So it would have been a nice setup. However, I was patient. I said, all right, my optimal short entry is this 44.07 area. Now you may be wondering, what is that? Like, why that number? Well, I'll show you how. This is how I got that area. You can see that this has acted as support and resistance for quite some time here, right? As you can see, indicated by this blue line. So I said that if price comes up to, or more, I was thinking, I didn't say. My thesis was, if price came up to this resistance level, that would provide for a nice shorting opportunity given proper context. So I wasn't going to take it short immediately at touching it, right? However, if we saw some kind of reaction from sellers in supply, that would set up for a good short position. So what did we see? We saw that right at the first 5 minutes, we broke above this 44 key level, but could not hold above it. And we couldn't hold above VWAP either. So what does that tell me? You could take this short here right below. So this is kind of a bounce play. Again, you're looking for these patterns here. You see sellers step in. This could have easily, kind of wicked you out and gone up, but our stop was above high of day, and that would have been a decent stop, or decent stop loss. A good target would have been this, previous low of day here, this 42 area. You could have even gone to this 43 area. So, the target is really up to you based on your risk to reward. It was about probably about a 40-cent stop loss. So about, 3-to-1 trade, which is exactly what we look for. And this was beautiful. So price came up. We rejected this resistance level in supply in a downtrend in the overall picture of a downward trend channel with, given the market has been weak these past couple days, but even though it has been strong, this just was a nice setup. So same thing, going to Roku. Let's just start with a higher time frame analysis. Just ignore all of this. I apologize. I meant to get rid of this earlier. But you can kind of see that Roku has been in an overall downtrend, right? It's been extremely weak. This name was once, 3 months ago trading above 350, which was, quite extraordinary. And you can see that it reached almost 500 at one point, and now we're at like all-time lows pretty much, or nearly all-time lows, or heading down that way. So I said, all right, let me capitalize on another weak move. And I saw that this 190 area was actually pretty important. If you go down to a 1 hour time frame, it's pretty clean. And this is what I look for. These clean kind of bounces, these clean setups. And this was a really nice setup here. We touched once here, touched twice, touched 3 times, almost 3 times here, almost 4 times here. But this 190 area was pretty key. And you can kind of see that it's just, we broke out of this consolidation range, and now we're in our own consolidation range. So let's go to an intraday time frame, and you can see that same thing that happened on Snapchat. We immediately rejected this 190 area, could not hold above VWAP again, and sold off. So this, and take your target or your profits where you see fit. This would have been a huge winner. We actually sold off to 177, which is a $13 move. So a $13 move. The contracts must have been insane. So this would have been a really nice play. Obviously, you're not going to catch the high and the low, but you're going to catch a decent chunk. Take your target where you see fit based on, resistance points. You could take it at 185, 180, you name it. I'm not here going to tell you which, what target makes sense, because it really depends on your risk to reward ratio. Another one that I was asked about was Dash. Dash was another interesting setup. I saw, again, we're kind of weak here. And just so you know, I didn't have just short setups. I did have Microsoft that I missed out on simply because it just didn't set up, but that was to the long side. So I am open to playing both sides of the market, but you can kind of see that in Dash here we have this downward trend again, and it looked like we were kind of breaking out of it, right? But we still had an immense amount of selling pressure. And again, this bounce line that I have is a support and resistance area. You can see it's pretty clean here, pretty clean cut. So I was thinking, all right, if we bounce or, break back below it, it's going to set up for another nice short opportunity. And that's exactly what happened. So we broke this area. You could have gotten short anywhere in this area. We broke out of this consolidation area. We rejected extremely hard off the open here, sold off a little bit, consolidated, sold off again, and now we're back down into this channel. So you can kind of see overall trend picture has a lot to do with the way that a trade will turn out. Just for reference, if I got in right around this 145 area, 145.5 area, my stop loss was going to be about this 145.6 area. Knowing me, if I got in below here, I would have made my stop loss above this resistance line. And then the target was the 30-minute demand. So those are just 3 key setups that worked out really well today. Really happy to see the progress that I've made. And I'm really excited to continue with my trading journey and see where it takes me. But these are the setups that we want to look for. Super high probability, in my opinion. Just going over the overall trend, right? There's no reason to get long on a name like this right now, simply because we're creating lower lows, lower highs, and that kind of thing. Microsoft, just so you guys get a reference, I was looking for this 318 key level break. Didn't get it since we gapped above. We did hold a little bit, but was not fond of taking this kind of bounce. It's possible you could have gotten a couple dollars here, but there was a lot higher setups or high probability setups that were out there that worked better to plan anyway. But you could have bounced off of the 318.2 area. I know that's been another area of interest that people have been watching. So you could have gotten long here at 940. But again, really depends on market context and the overall trend. I just thought the other 3 setups were, higher probability, just in my eyes. But again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and I'm glad to be back.